General Secretary for the Greater Accra Hockey Association, Mr. Graham, Isaac Graham. Mr. Isaac Graham, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wiseman and Wachi. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great, and then a good afternoon to your viewers, all those who are participating on this call.
Okay, thank you very much for making time for us this afternoon so we talk more about hockey in Ghana. First of all, you being the General Secretary of the Greater Accra Hockey Association, I want to focus more on the Greater Accra Hockey Association, the league, the GAHA League. What's your take on the league? We've had players wondering how we're going to play the league, how we're going to start, are we going to play, is it going to come on? I want you to clarify everything here on this platform as to if it's certain that the association is ready for the 2021 league, and if yes, the date for commencement.
Okay, so thank you again. What I would do basically is to give, first of all, the assurance to our members that we're putting up everything that we can to ensure that we have a successful resumption of hockey. And that is actually our main focus. And I'll try to walk you through some areas that we have worked on. And then after that, maybe if there are any questions, I'll be glad to have them. The ones that I can answer them right away, I will. The ones I need to pack them and then get back to you also, I will surely do that. So if I have the permission, I can just walk you through basically because of the times we find ourselves. I'll start with the health and safety. So these are the preparations and the activities that we have put in place. So basically what we've done on the health and safety, we have put up a medical team together, and then we have also have a team of liaison officers. So basically for the first time, and because of the times we find ourselves, every team has appointed a COVID liaison officer. So these guys, ladies and gentlemen, are the ones who are supposed to be the go-to person in terms of COVID information, and then helping to support the team in terms of what the preparations that they are doing. It's not only on match days; their scope actually covers right from their training, in their discussions, meetings. So we want COVID to drill down to everybody and to be the subjects for all the hockey fraternity. So the team were trained. We had our first training with a medical doctor on Friday, just this Friday. We had our first training, and then we did the facility risk assessment. So basically we had a risk assessment of the whole stadium, ensuring that we've been able to zone the red, the green, and then the amber zones in terms of how the facility will be. And then we've also had discussions with National Ambulance Service to support us, and they are in twofold. So we've asked them whether they will be able to station the team on site or give us a dedicated line connected to the team at the stadium. So basically, that is where we are discussing, and they've given us positive indication, and we hope to finalize that discussion before the start of the league on the 1st of May. Again, our plan is to start the league on the 1st of May, barring any unforeseen circumstances, which at the moment we don't have. But I mean, we can't say never. I mean, if the government tomorrow or tonight says all sporting activities should stop, then we will put on hold. But as of now, all our plans are for 1st of May 2021. So we've also activated our partnership with Ridge Hospital. So they are basically, we had a partnership with them already, and we've reactivated it, giving them the details of what we want to do, and they've also given us some guidelines on the times we find ourselves in. And I know in the coming week, milestone 2, we are also trying to talk to 2 community clinics around the enclave to see if we will be able to get them also on board, so that if we are dependent on which one comes first, we'll be able to send. If there's any injury, we don't want it, but in the event that it happened, then we'll be able to send our colleagues to those places. So basically what we're going to do is all persons entering the pitch or the stadium will undergo compulsory temperature checking, and then they will go through the COVID protocol of washing their hands at the gate. So basically everybody coming through the stadium, once you are in your car or you are walking or whichever means, you will go through this, and then once you are done, if you are above 38 degrees Celsius, then we will advise you politely our COVID team will quickly come in, because at that stage we are not saying that person is COVID, but having COVID, but it's a suspect. So we would then trigger the necessary precautions and then ensure that we don't affect the greater population. So we, at this point, encourage all our members to avail themselves for vaccination. So basically, based on the categorization by the government, we realize that majority of our team, our members, will be able to go through the first and then the second vaccination period, because most of our clubs, the A-leagues, are all security companies, so they fall under the fourth line, the first category. And then we know also that some establishments, institutions like the Bank of Ghana and the rest also have some means of organizing with Ghana Health because of the particular situation they find themselves and their work makes they are able to get some vaccination. So basically, we are encouraging our members to go for the vaccination, those who falls within. Those who don't fall within, based on what we have put in terms of the registration guidelines, by the end of the registration, we will be able to identify those who have not gotten the vaccination, and then we will be able to also see what we can do to help those who don't have. Once we start the league, if you enter the pitch, as I indicated earlier, based on the risk assessment we've done, there will be places that you will be restricted or it will be blocked out, so you will not be able to access those places. A few of the places where maybe the sitting arrangement, we have simulated and done some work around how people will sit in. Mind you, we are only going to accept 20% spectatorship at the pitch. So we are putting in all these so that our members are safe, and anybody who wants to come and watch the beautiful game of hockey will also be safe. So that is under what we've done so far on the health and safety. And we know the team are preparing, as you rightly said. Some of the team are on preseason, some are even out of town, some are still going through their regimes and training hard. On our part as an association, since last year we ran a couple of virtual training for all our members to upgrade and refresh their knowledge on the rules of the game. I think we did about 3 times with the help of our sister organization, Hockey Empires, that's the HUTWA. So they actually facilitated that for us, and we think that was a good opportunity, and we entreat all our members to put what we learned into practice. But what we did was to use our own games, our own matches, previous matches as case studies. So it was easier for us to relate to it and then be able to interpret the rules and why we got it wrong, both sides, whether the team, the players, or the officials. So that is what we have seen. And again, for emphasis, we are going to start on the 1st of May, and then we are expecting about 21 teams in all categories. So we have the A, the youth, we have the masters, we have both the female and the male. So in all, we are expecting about 21 teams to participate. There are a couple of teams, about 2 or 3, who are also asking to join. They are now going through the review and then the application process. Once they are accepted, we will be able to add them also to the list of teams that will participate. So we have shared our regulation with the teams already. We are, as indicated during the AGM, we are going to use the 2020 regulation for this year. So basically, we are using the 2020 regulation. So it's just a rollover. And then the addendum is the COVID advisory, which we have also shared with all the team managers and the teams. And then it's also pasted at the pitch. So that is the only addition that we have added. That's the COVID advisory, ensuring that we capture as much as possible what needs to be done by each team and each individual. We've also shared the guidelines for registration, and then the registration forms have also been shared. The deadline for submission of prayer entry is on the 15th of April. So that is actually a deadline. So by 15th, teams are supposed to register their players, and the team managers are supposed to sign off and ensure that it gets to the attention of the secretariat so that we will be able to work on it and publish the final team and then the participants for this league. Also, one thing that we need to emphasize is this year we are also asking every single team to give us the list of members, both playing and then non-playing members. So if a club is going to register 25 players, 5 officials, but we know most of the clubs have more than this, we are asking every single mandatory. They round or next season, we need the names, which we have also communicated to our members. So we are also ensuring that our communication with Ghana Hockey in terms of the modalities with COVID testing, we've already sent communication officially to Ghana Hockey. We've had a couple of discussions. We know Ghana Hockey is also working with the NSA and the government on the testing. And we are looking at almost about 650 members to be tested. And then based on that, based on the results, if there are any positive members, they would then go to the government of Ghana protocol to ensure that they recover and then they join us. We have simulated a couple of options, and we've shared it with Ghana Hockey in terms of how we want to run the league. So we have the weekly, we have the bi-weekly, we have the bubble, we have the tournament model. So, and all these models that we have simulated have their pros and cons. And I'm sure in the coming days, when we finalize it with Ghana Hockey, we will be able to communicate, as we mentioned it at the AGM. Then we'll come back to the clubs on which model that we want to go for. And our clubs know that the first option was to do the weekly, so just as we did in 2019 and what we're going to do in 2020. So that is an option. We have the bi-weekly, and then we have the bubble and then the tournament models as I've indicated. So we will be able to give the final model that we are going to apply in the coming days. Before we start, at least before the end of registration, we would have concluded on what option we are going to weigh in our pros and cons and ensuring that our members, our clubs, are not adversely affected. We are also discussing with Ghana Hockey on in terms of infrastructure to look at their timelines when they will start work on the stadium. And for us, we've simulated a couple of options in terms of the fixture. So depending on when they give us their timing, we will then be able to plug in which one will work for us. And we are also looking at alternative options also. So we have our plan B and plan C, so that in case this one doesn't work, then we'll be able to plug in. So we just making sure that we are prepared whichever event that will occur. Officiating, one of the areas that we looked at the post season assessment was officiating. So luckily we were able to engage our sister organization, which is Futura, and so this year also we are going to engage the services of Futura, and we know that they've given their members a lot of training over the period. Some of which we were invited to participate and comment on. So at least we expect that we will have an improved service delivered to us in the 2021 season. Discipline-wise, we want to admonish all members to exhibit the highest level of professionalism. This season, we are not going to be in the normal way of working, or playing or enjoying our game. So we expect the highest level of professionalism, and our doors are open to ensure that we support each team to make sure that they abide by a code of ethics to prevent the issues of taking members through disciplinary procedures and then the inconveniences that comes with it. This is what we're doing. Sponsorship, yes, I know some of you are aware. We are lucky to have Ghana Gas coming on board to support us. And then we have Safoda Ventures who have already been our backbone throughout the years. They will also be on board. And we are still looking for other support from individuals and corporate Ghana. And as part of that process, we have received proposals from some marketing consultants in a bid to take up that aspect and try to take our proposal out to the corporate world and be able to see how it can come out. I know a couple of proposals have come, which the committee is reviewing, and at the right time, once it's finalized, we will communicate to all members on the direction that we are going. Media and publicity, yes, as part of our way to ensure that we highlight and throw more out there to the larger community. Our social media handles are active. We also have a couple of media houses, both radio, print, and online, who have been helping in one way or the other to propagate our messages. We still have them on board. And then we're looking at more of a drive to also have maybe one of the areas that we're looking at in terms of sponsorship is to have a media sponsor headline who will also be able to help us. So maybe I Sport 360 can take it up. I mean, that's a discussion. We can pick it up after this call. But it's open so that we will be able to send the message across. And for us, we are not looking at only one approach. As I said, we are looking at radio, print, online, any of the media which will be able to, so a combination that will be able to give us the leverage and then the outreach that we want to have, then we will be able to engage them and then work with them to make sure that we get the best out of what we're doing. We're also making arrangements to stream live some of our matches. So we've had discussions with some of the entities, and we've not concluded. That is why we've also not shared it. But one of the plans for this year is to show some of our matches live and through our channel, and then ensure that other online media and then other stations can also pick the feed. So we've already done that discussion. A couple of discussions have gone. We've not finalized that, and we have also initiated the discussion with Hockey.match FIH platform also to see how we'll be able to put in our feed, and then they'll be able to take our footages also. So yeah, these are very good for us. Positive indication, positive outlook at the beginning, and then we've received a couple of mails, and yeah, we hope that we'll be able to meet their requirements and then be able to put it out there. What is important for us and what we want to emphasize to our members across is we need to elevate the highest level of professionalism and ensure that we are disciplined, because it's not only about playing hockey, it's about also ensuring that you put out the best in terms of discipline so that the world will want to see. If you want to stream, it goes out, and then we don't want to show the other side which is not good about hockey. We always want to ensure that we get the best out there to the world to ensure that we also attract the right people into our fraternity. This year, one of the flagship program is what we call the Institutional Watch. So, for example, what we're going to do is on certain matches, on match days, we are going to invite officially heads of the institution of our teams, some corporate organizations, and then our sponsors also. So, if for example, if I take the Legonite, we would then invite maybe the Director of Sports, University of Ghana, and his team to come and witness, to come and watch the game that Legonite will be involved in. The same will go for other teams. And so this is one area that we are focusing on to ensure that at least those institutions also know exactly what their team and what their members have been doing. So it's one area that we are going to, and you will see more of them on the pitch. So they will be part of our VIPs. We will give them all the necessary attention, and then ensure that they are also protected when they join us. And so it's an area that we are going to focus on. Finally, we are looking at awarding players and officials at the end of the season. So the TECA committee has been tasked to come up with modalities in terms of the awards, the categories, and then how they will be able to. So basically, at the ED level, you will then wait for the committee's nomination based on what they will bring, and then we will award them accordingly. The quantum might not be that much, and I will not be able to disclose on this platform at the moment, but it's a step in the right direction to recognize hard work and ensure that people who are giving their best for our game that we all love are also giving their due recognition. So, we expect our teams to prepare adequately, one, for the season, and then exhibit the highest level of professionalism, and above all, we entreat everyone to strictly adhere to the COVID-19 protocol. So this, I think, is a high level of what we have done, what we are doing, and what we plan to do to have a successful league season. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Graham. Before you go, Mr. Graham, we have a question for you. But I think it's been an exclusive interview. You've talked about everything in depth, almost everything I wanted to ask you. I like the way you
highlighted everything. Like, it's quite detailed. Yes. Information from you. I mean, I was waiting for certain question. I was waiting for certain messages from you, but it seems like you've been able to touch on each and every question that I have. But I still have a question, Mr. Graham. You know, I still have a question, and we know our audience still have a question. So if you know you are watching us live, and then you want to ask a question in relation to the league and the updates of what Mr. Graham has pointed out, we would want you to send your comments in on our social media platform. You can comment just below the video, or you can send us a WhatsApp message on 02094143362. Mr. Graham, my question. You were talking about sponsorship from Ghana Gas and then Safoda. Looking at the amount of investment that is involved in relation to what is going to happen during the league, can you disclose the amount of money involved? Because the public would want to know how much of investment that Greater Accra Hockey Association is even putting into the game, and then also if you are receiving sponsorship, what is the value that is involved? People would want to know and then attributes as to how come you are able to generate such an amount of money to put in such effort, where you would want to look at live feeds and then all those things.
Okay, so are you going to complete your questions and I'll answer them, or I will just pick them one after the other?
Okay. Okay. Secondly, I want to know, find out how the testing of players is going to be like. Is it going to be weekly based? Is it going to be after match days? How is the testing, the COVID testing for the players going to be like? And also, you made mention of the awards. Is it something that has been agreed on by the executives, or it's in the pipeline, as in you are trying to see a bat, or it is something that we should expect at the end of the season?
Also, another question is that we would also want to know, looking at the number of teams that you talked about, 22 teams, if we are to play a one-round type of league, we are going to have about 4 months of gameplay. If you are going to be playing 2 rounds, that is times 2, you are going to be having 8 months of gameplay. Looking at that, and then looking at the preparation that Ghana Hockey would have in relation to the commencement of the ACN in 2022, you didn't touch on the number of rounds that the game is going to be played in. So can you touch on that so that you will be enlightened? And if we are going to be playing with 1 round, is this going to be sufficient enough for the teams to enjoy as per what you want us to expect?
Okay. So let me start from where you ended in terms of the round. So we are going to play 2 rounds. So basically, we will have 2 rounds. And with the simulations that we've done, so it depends on which one, as I indicated, that we will settle on. But I can assure you that whichever model we settle on will not take us beyond September. That, at least from all the simulations we've done, will not take us beyond September. So it will actually be within our hockey season in terms of when we play our league, the period that we use. So at this moment, as I said, we are in discussion with Ghana Hockey and then with the National Sports Authority. We have made certain demands through a request to them on which of the options, as I indicated. We have the weekly, the bi-weekly. We requested for a bubble model. We've also looked at the tournament model setup, which we discussed in details at the AGM. So we've put all to our mother association to look at it. We've had initial discussion with them. They are also going to discuss with the appropriate decks, and then, as I said, we will be able to settle on which will go, which option we will take, and then we will communicate to our members accordingly. But if you ask me to give you a high level, none of the options we have simulated will go beyond September. So we rest assured that we will be able to deliver a good package, and then we will also be within timelines that we have been running. On testing, yes, so it's actually sitting with the testing. So basically the testing is per the NSA process. So we will do the testing for all the teams and then the players, and it will be done at the pitch, because that was one of the requests you put in. So we'll have it done at the pitch. So we will have a timetable for teams to come and do their test, and then the results will come in on time for us to know who is eligible to play in maybe this week or next week. So that is what we are going to do. And as we said, and as part of our regulation, if 4 members are not able to pass the COVID test in a team, then we will reschedule automatically the match for that team, and then we'll communicate. I think I wrote down the sponsorship here. So we have a sponsorship with Ghana Gas and then Tafoda. We couldn't conclude with Ghana Gas because in 2020 we have to receive some amount from Ghana Gas, and then we were supposed to draw down the others, but unfortunately because of the issues we had with COVID, we couldn't complete that, and we've already initiated the discussions again with them because, so that we can go through the whole sponsorship request that we sent. So that at the moment I will not be able to disclose because we've not finalized that with them, but at least they kept good faith with us, and they give us an amount of around 40K that we have been able to draw from Ghana Gas at the moment. So yeah, that is on the sponsorship, and as I said, for Tafoda Ventures, they are always our support line, and they are still with us. And we know, in the coming days, a couple of corporate bodies and institutions that we have, and we are still engaging. Even within the week, we engage a couple of them. We are asking them to support us. We know they are in very trying times everywhere, but some have given us some positive indication that they will be able to support us in one way or the other. So, and that is why we're also looking at the proposal from the marketing consultants to also take up that, and then as part of a bigger request, then they will be able. So at the moment, it's more being done within the executive level, and then so we are going to push it to them, the consultants, to be able to take up what we have and sell it out there, and be able to bring in some other bodies to come on board. And again, there are different categories, and once we finalize this, we'll be able to communicate. And as I said, like media, we want to have maybe somebody giving us in terms of water and then beverages. Yeah, you're looking at it. So different categorizations that we have, and we just want everybody on board. Not necessarily the quantum. Yes, we need the money, but at least if we have so much, we'll be able to put together, and then it will also attract others to also come and join the very good thing that we are doing. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's about how we package ourselves, how we prepare ourselves, how we sell our product, and that is exactly what we are doing, and that is exactly what we want to achieve. I hope I've answered all your questions. Well, it looks like I wrote 4 and I've answered 4.
I think it's with the awards, the one related.
On the awards is not okay. So you were asking whether we are thinking or we are thought or we are going to think.
Yes.
No. So we have already commissioned our technical team, and I mentioned that. So it fits within the technical committee. So the technical committee is the one who are supposed to give us the name. So as the executive board, we've already given them the green light, giving them the blessing to come out with the modality. So, for example, the top goal scorer, the best goalkeeper, the best player, and all those. So they will communicate, and then before we start the league, I'm sure it would have come out, or maybe along the line, they will be able to communicate what we are looking out for in terms of the awards. So, but at the end of the day, at the end of the season, the hockey season, we will give awards to deserving participants or deserving team members. As I mentioned earlier, the quantum might not be so much, but it will be the step in the right direction, and the necessary recognition will be given to those who deserve it.
Okay. Mr. Graham, relating to the awards, you see the Greater Accra Hockey Association, the league, the GAHA League, is recognized as the national league here in Ghana because the winners of the league and the runners-up, they are the ones that represent the nation at the Africa Cup for Club Champions. Now, with the awards, is it going to be restricted solely? Is it going to be just for Greater Accra League performance for the performers in the Greater Accra Hockey League, or are you going to join hands with the mother body and do sort of a national awards for hockey players across?
Okay, so this discussion is actually on Greater Accra.
Okay.
So basically, it's the Greater Accra Hockey League that we are going to. Those who have participated in are the ones we are going to recognize.
Okay.
But I know,
Hello, Mr. Graham.
Greater Accra, because the technical committee who are going to work are committees that have been appointed by us, and they've been given a clear scope to ensure that they watch the matches, they watch of the pitch situations, especially the way, including how people even conduct themselves in terms of COVID, because we are going to be very strict, and I kept mentioning that because that is the passport to play hockey. If anything goes wrong, if we see any deviation, we will not hesitate to call off hockey even before government comes in. We will take the right decision.
Mr. Graham, it has been a wonderful discussion with you. Looking at the insights that you've actually given us, we had thought of certain questions that we wanted to ask you, but looking at what you've actually given us, it's made our conversation quite short. We had wanted to touch on certain areas that, if in case you had missed, we would have asked questions. But it seems your presentation has been quite insightful, and then I'm sure that people who are watching us will have an idea of what we should expect. But the last question before we conclude, I want to ask you, if in case, per all your preparations and then everything that you have put in place, the plans and then the organization, if in case Ghana Hockey Association says that because of its preparation for the ACN in 2022, the league is not going to come off on the hockey pitch as expected, your plan B, is it going to be favorable for the teams, or is going to be something that we are supposed to rethink and then look at again? And then the last question from Wiseman.
And Mr. Graham, finally, I'd want to find out if we'll be having any new team on board to join, let's say the men's division or the youth division. Have you had any proposal from any teams who are likely to join for this season?
Okay, so I think the two questions. So the first one is what happens if Ghana Hockey says don't play on the pitch? I think I mentioned it during my presentation. So basically, we've already made our plan A and plan B, including even a plan C. And we mentioned it at the AGM that on the unlikely event that we will not be able to play. Remember, I mentioned that whatever model we go for, at least by September, would have been done. We also factored in at a very high level how long it would take to do the pitches and other things. So, yes, we've already planned, and if it comes to work that nothing can be done, we have been locked out, which we know our mothers will not do that. But if we wake up one day and they've locked us out of the pitch, yes, there are other facilities that we have already identified. And so for example, there are other places that hockey can be played. So, and we know our members who appreciate, and we've already given them some heads up at the AGM. So they appreciate the fact that, yes, if it comes to that point, yes, we will inform them on what we are going to do. As I speak with you, I know on Wednesday, the TECA team is visiting about 2 different places, which we have already identified and had some initial discussions with them. They are going to assess the facilities again, and then they will give us their final report. So it's more like we have actually been waiting for this day, and we cannot wait for the day to come. On the teams that have shown interest, yes, I mentioned that we are looking at 21, but there are teams on there. I think, at least from what I have, we are expecting some ladies team to join, and then we also expecting a men's team, a men and a lady team to join. But they are all going through the review process, and once we finalize them, we'll be able to communicate on the number of teams and the categorizations that we've been giving them. So, yes, and we are still open. If we get them before the 15th, we will be glad to work with them if they go through. If not, then we will have to wait for next season. At least then they cannot be with us on this league. But we have other competitions that we can onboard them and then prepare them for next season. What I will say finally is our doors are open. All our members, everybody who loves hockey, who loves sports, just feel free to contact us, get to us to our social media handles. Our numbers are there. Just place a call, and we'll be glad to give you all the information that you need and give you what we have, and during the day, so that we will be able to, as a team, build hockey in Ghana, Africa, and the world at large. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Graham, before you leave, there's a question from a viewer. Someone has sent a question that we should find out if the Legon pitch is an option, the University of Ghana pitch, the one at the Athletic Oval. Is that one an option in case maybe the Ghana Hockey Association decides to start working on the pitch as soon as possible?
Okay, so yes, every pitch, hockey playing pitch within the Greater Accra region is an option at the moment. Let me put it this way. So I don't want people to start going to hide around some corners, some pitch and do their own thing. No. Every pitch is an option at the moment. As I said, we don't expect our mother body to lock us out. But if it happens, if it so happens, we rest assured that as we communicated during the AGM, we will find an appropriate. As I mentioned, a team is actually going to visit these places in terms of what they have, because from the Secretariat we've already made some contact and we've asked the team to go and continue the discussion and then come back. So yes, I will not at the moment give you the exact name because we've not settled on that. All hockey playing pitches around the region are options at the moment.
Okay, Mr. Graham, my humble appeal, this one is from me personally. You stressed on a high level of professionalism and also with regards to discipline among the playing body, the officials, whoever takes part in the Greater Accra.
Everybody.
Yes. So I plead. I have seen in the previous years. I was not really impressed with although some of the disciplinary actions were okay, but I think there were a lot of indiscipline from the players, from team managers, officials on the field of play, insults and all that. I believe that all these things will be put in check so that this season we will not see something like that. Not that we will see it and go and work on it, but we shouldn't see something like because it tends to I think yes, it tends
to the beauty, yeah.
Is it?
I said it will affect the beauty of our game
the beauty of the game. Yeah. So I'm appealing to you as the General Secretary and that you should make sure that these measures are put in place so that we don't see anything like that. So everything will be free and fair on the field of play.
Yes. So Washman, I mean, I stated earlier and I will again say it. So post 2019 assessment, one of the areas that we looked at was officiating. Because after talking to the team managers and a couple of other people, it was more like, okay, and even those who went for this hearing, they mentioned officiating. So we spent time with our sister organization, the Hockey Empires, and they have the finest brains you can have within the continent there. And we've really had discussions with them. We know what they have put in place. But it doesn't warrant, I mean, let me put it bluntly, under no circumstance should we see some of the events we saw in 2019 repeating in 2021. We will not condone it. Trust executives, we will take the action. That is why we are doing everything to ensure that we have level playing ground for everybody, but we will not hesitate to take action. For example, I don't see how maybe for just example's sake, you have Legonite playing and then they have the director of sports or maybe the Pro V sitting there and they are going to misbehave. So you realize I mentioned that the institutional watch is one of our flagship programs for this year and we're going to continue. So it's also to ensure that maybe if police high command are there watching their team police, we don't expect police team members or players to misbehave, irrespective of what happens on the pitch. There are grievances procedures and our code of ethics are so clear. We've published it. We've shared it again for this season. They are clear on what needs to be done, what are the punishments that if you go contrary, you will receive. And there are instances, you receive it before you even leave the pitch. And we are going to ensure that there is discipline. Remember, if I want to stream live and get a slot on watch.hockey, I don't want to show what some of the events in 2019. I wouldn't want to show it. So we are pleading with everybody. Not only the playing body, you mentioned living spectators, everybody who comes to the pitch to ensure that, and we have put it lightly in a very simple term, that exhibit the highest level of professionalism and then go by our code of ethics because you will surely be brought to book if you misbehave.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac Graham.
Thank you so much for the time.
And
thank you.
I believe our viewers out there and everybody watching us will be so impressed with what you've given us this afternoon. That's an in-depth information from the General Secretary of the Greater Accra Hockey Association, Mr. Isaac Graham, who joined us this afternoon with that in-depth